I need somebody with me right now that wants to shout about it. Our sister is blowing it out the water. And y'all have given up. And we ain't got time for y'all to be giving up. We need y'all to stay in this thing so we can bring the true community back together. Let me let you hear the sister.
So what families would do would also be to pour off that, or they might set aside a dish or plate.
Libation and
now that is giving strength to the group, and it's affirming their definition as a group. So during what I call the Ma'afa, which is our period of great disaster, which is the period of enslavement, we had to find ways to reconnect ourselves to that power source. So what we did was to recreate the rituals. Recreate the rituals so that indeed the ancestors could strengthen us. Because another thing that is happening in those rituals of ancestor communion, we call it libation, is that we are honoring them. We are remembering them. And in that way, we strengthen them. And we have to strengthen them because we are asking them to strengthen us. And in African philosophy, the principle of reciprocity is one of the most important things we can remember and live by.
Okay, now, as I was reading your book, I observed that in traditional African religion, there's communion with the collective dead. Whereas in Christianity, there is communion with a single dead, albeit resurrected. How do you see that?
Well, first of all, partly in practicing these other religions, what we're doing is honoring somebody else's ancestors. And so that they are portrayed not as Africans. I mean, even the single person that you're talking about is not portrayed as an African, but as a European. So that you are honoring somebody else's ancestor. That's number one.
Well, people might say, well, if this is God, then who cares what color it is?
Oh, I'm sure they would say that. And when they say it, they are not thinking politically. And for me, you have to put everything in political context. And every religion is a deification of somebody's culture.
Now, when you say deification, religion.
Sacralization of it. That is, it is making a statement that your people are special and are sacred and have special reason to be. Every religion does that. And Christianity was used by Europeans to deify their culture. Okay? We know that it was used to support imperialism, colonialism, enslavement, and so forth. All right? Mm-hmm. So that when we get involved in that, without that kind of understanding, what we are doing is supporting that system and deifying somebody else's culture. Now, the question of the collective, what happens in ancestor communion in terms of the African expression of that and practice of that, is that there are like levels. It gets deeper and deeper. And when someone first passes from the physical stage into the spiritual, they are remembered, how they looked, they're remembered by name, and there will be elders there to keep that memory alive. Okay?
That keeps it alive.
Now, even then, keeping that memory alive is used to bring everybody together.
Yeah, we will all come together.
Was connected through that person. But then what happens after hundreds of years? That memory may be forgotten on a personal level.
Yes.
So that spirit no longer has a personal identity.
Wow.
But that doesn't mean that spirit is dead.
Amen.
It's never totally dead.
Amen.
As long as the group remembers who they are. Because what happens is that your identity as a person, as a single being, merges into the identity of the group. And you are then remembered as the group remembers who they are, as the group remembers their traditions, as the group says, we are going to consciously be African. We're going to consciously be, who we are. Now that has tremendous implications. That means that that's how we keep our ancestors alive, is by remembering who we are. So if we attempt to be European, then what are we doing?
Hear this.
We're killing our ancestors.
Oh my God. But there's another point she's going to make. You're killing your ancestors, but you're also killing yourself. And this is why you see the suffering that's going on. I am totally wholehearted believing that, because I see it, and I grieve. And I'm like, why am I grieving? Because I know this in my spirit, that is because we've moved away from our strength and our power. Here we go.
Very, very serious, both spiritually and politically. Now, if we kill our ancestors, in terms of the African conception, we also kill ourselves.